I would like to welcome you to this forum. Thank you so much for thinking about sustainability. Thank you so much for the Media for Development for organizing this forum. This is very passionate. I'm very passionate about this topic. And I think now is the time that we should be talking about it. It's never too late to talk about it. My role is very simple. It's to welcome you here today. And I will read my speech because I wrote it with a lot of passion last night, so allow me to read it. Thank you. I was thinking about the agenda for ESG, and this morning it's important for us to brainstorm at this session. It's important for us to articulate our context first, and then it's important for us to debate. So for centuries, the only important consideration for business was the so-called bottom line, the final line in the accounts of an organization stating the total profit or loss that that organization has made. Today, like everything else, the bottom line has evolved to triple bottom line, a new concept that requires firms to commit to measuring their social and environmental impact, in addition to their financial performance, rather than solely focusing on generating profit or the standard bottom line. The triple bottom line, as per the Harvard Business Review, focuses on 3 Ps: people, the planet, and profit. This is how to build sustainable businesses. In other words, in addition to striving to succeed financially, socially, responsible companies commit to measuring success through their impact on people, employees, customers, and society at large, and the environment. Many organizations around the world are in the early stages of their journey to transition from their focus on the traditional bottom line to focusing on the triple bottom line. Our organization at Standard Bank, we are committed to ensuring that our strategy is consistent with our mission of driving the sustainable growth of Africa, but also to the contribution to society's needs and priorities as expressed by the UN SDGs, the Paris Agreement, and the Africa Union Agenda. Some people tend to look at business sustainability initiatives, popularly known as corporate social responsibility, as a financial trade-off. But it is important to have the view that business sustainability is wise financial strategy. In other words, there is good in companies doing good for their people and their communities. And as I reflect, I think, why should businesses in Mozambique care about ESG today? Investors. Today, businesses are rated on their ESG performance, and investment advisors quantify ESG to make investing easier. Therefore, organizations must do what's necessary to achieve great ESG performance. That involves doing the right thing and then increasing awareness about good things that we should do. A strong ESG proposition helps companies tap new markets and expand into existing ones. When governing authorities trust corporate actors, they are more likely to award them access, approvals, and licenses that afford fresh opportunities for growth. A strong ESG proposition can help companies attract and retain quality employees, enhance employee motivation by instilling a sense of purpose, and increase productivity overall. Employee satisfaction is positively correlated with shareholder return. ESG also offers a competitive advantage. Companies participating in ESG are gaining a competitive advantage. ESG metrics are also important to consumers, employees, lenders, and regulators. Company leaders who make efforts to improve labor conditions, promote diversity, give back to the community, and take a stand on the socio-economic issues that play a major role in strengthening a company's brand. In a 2021 survey conducted by Accenture of more than 25 consumers across 22 countries, 50% reported that they have realigned their priorities, shopping for brands because of ESG. These consumers are willing to pay extra for brands that are aligned with their values and are more loyal to those that treat people well. Today's socially conscious consumers want to know what the businesses they support are doing for the greater good. ESG creates long gains for businesses. And as I was thinking about Mozambique, with all the issues around climate change, I think it's important for everybody in this room to remember that we shall be indicted as leaders tomorrow if we don't do anything about climate change. And I might not have all the statistics around Mozambique, but what I know is that there is a larger impact on agriculture. Mozambique is an agriculture-driven country. 23% of our GDP is driven by agriculture. 60% of employment of the population is actually employed in this sector. So the implications of climate change are dire on Mozambique. It's important for us to understand that the destruction of forests, natural vegetation, increased pollution can adversely affect the environment, change our weather pattern, and affect our entire sector. And Mozambique depends on it. I normally like to tell stories, and my colleagues know this. I visited Kaya a month or two ago. I was saddened that the only two activities I saw were the selling of charcoal. There was a lot of charcoal along the roadside, and also selling of fuel. Most likely it was smuggled fuel. And I wondered, I mean, I looked around and I did not see a farm, but all I saw was charcoal, meaning that that is all that the population in that area was depending on. And I wondered what sort of conversation even the private sector is having with government around this place. Potentially, there was need for us to think about agriculture. Potentially, there was need for us to actually think about what other means of cooking services would the people in Kaya need apart from charcoal. So I was saddened by that, and I've talked about it. For every person that I have met who matters, I have mentioned my journey to Kaya, that I was saddened by what I saw. In that if we don't do anything about the environment, then we shall be indicted as leaders. For us to continue to grow enough food to sustain our families and businesses, we must act on environmental preservation and climate action. Changes on weather in various areas across the continent have shown a decrease in food production by 10%, something we should avoid. If the agriculture sector gets affected by climate change, we all get affected. The impact on large projects. So recently we've seen new regulations and penalties on environmental breaches. Among the key aspects to note is the need for production today to ensure that they're undertaking the necessary environmental and social impact assessments to support their business operations. Failure to do so will attract massive penalties. And so it is important that projects that have huge impacts on the environment, like our forthcoming LNG, like all the projects that we have, whether it's building of dams, roads, that consideration around ESG are taken into mind. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to this session. I look forward to the deliberations that we are going to have. At a point in time, from a Standard Bank perspective, we shall be talking about financing, sustainable financing. And I'd also want to thank our co-sponsors, Ernst & Young. Thank you so much for participating in this. And I wish all of us a good deliberation. Thank you so much and a good morning.